Sorry guys, just gonna redo that. Yeah, okay. So this is gonna be about part 2 then. I'll upload both of these to YouTube, part 1 and part 2, because it's like an hour and 40 minutes. Right, so, Remore, we'll step away from you for a moment because Fall is stepping away from the computer. Fall sits with the commanders in a large central room. The table has holograms of everything going on in the battle around her, in front of her. There aren't any commanders with her right now, but she has video feeds of them all up around her. They sit in solemn solidarity with a single figure at a single desk in a military bunk, watching, waiting, directing. The sky is alive with fire, and Cam, if you step outside the ship, you would see the sound in the air is deafening. It sounds like 1,000 mosquitoes are around your head at any given point in time, and the blaster fire only serves to make it worse. People scream and run away as buildings crumble and destruction reigns. Men, women, and children pick up rifles and rocket launchers, trying to take aim on this endless, blackened sky. Far above, in the distance, the 3 suns in the VAR system burn quietly, unaware to the destruction reigning around it. Remore, you plant a single charge on a central computer, or on a secondary computer off to the side of the central one. Yeah, you don't know if it will catch it, but it could disrupt a lot of their battle planning.
I was thinking that if I take out the server farm, or at least a lot of it, it'll at least stop most of the ship shutting down in case of airlock breach.
Yep, fair enough.
So it's causing more damage.
Right, fair enough.
So I'm going to sneak back to my vents.
Remore sneaks back to the vents, pulls it open, and heads through. Where are you going now?
I'm going to roll an awareness and see what I can find.
Right.
Let's try and find another important place.
Right. Well, it actually wasn't the important place that you were looking for, but it was an important place that I just randomly came up with.
Okay, 16.
Right.
Where are you taking me now?
You head into the central maze of alternate pathways, and there's something in you that sort of like tugs at you, and you find yourself heading to the west again. Back down the corridor, away from all of these other branches. You don't really know what they are, but you don't really think that they're important. You find yourself moving into what looks like a very large airlock door at the very end of the hallway, and beyond it, you can hear humming. Does your void suit protect against radiation?
Yeah, it's one of those full body ones that just kind of adapts to everything.
Yep, you have an environmental adaptation system. I forgot about that. Hello, Positivity Bot. Welcome to the game.
Right, okay, I'm going to check if there's anyone actually there. Another awareness?
Roll me an awareness, yep. Roll me an awareness with disadvantage, because this is quite a thick glass. Or thick metal.
B6, okay.
Right. That's not good enough.
12, 11, yeah, 14. That's 14, that top one, and then 18.
Jeez. So 14. Right.
14.
You could barely hear the sound of footsteps. There's only one set. You don't really seem to think it's anybody important, but you think it might be a technician working on this. Whatever it is. Judging by the humming, you think the machine is large, and it probably takes up the entire space that it sits in.
Right, well, I'm going to slip into the reactor room stealth then.
Will you slip into the what?
I'm going to slip into the reactor room.
Yep, of course. You slide open the door. The first thing that hits you is your suit starts shrieking at you. Radiation warning, pressure warning, no air, no oxygen, sealing suit, cutting off air supply, providing life support, and then your suit stills again. You think you maybe have 10 minutes in this room. There is a single man walking around the central reactor. He hums to himself, tapping his hand against his side, and taps on several large data pads around an enormous central pillar. This thing glows with radiance. Several offshoot glass tanks of glowing blue liquid dominate the central chamber, and in the very center is this large pillar. There are basically a central computer that goes the entire length of the reactor, and just up in the just beyond your reach is a glass tube with a single red dot. It hovers in place and pulses, but even from here you can feel the pressure. Something pressing at your body. Whatever this is, it's dangerous. Can I get you to make me an intelligence roll? Actually, no. Give me a culture roll. Either or. Whichever one's stronger.
Well, just -4 off that.
Right. This is red matter. If you blow this up, it has enough power to destroy Midas. Even from space.
Oh. The planet as well.
Yep.
I don't want to blow that up.
It would cause a singularity.
Is there any way for me to make it less dangerous? And only blow up the ship?
Unless you contain it, no.
How would I go about containing this?
You would need several feet, thick padding made entirely out of carbon fiber, and then you need to contain that in a lead box, and then you need to contain that in titanium. And only then could you prevent it to only destroy the ship.
I'm assuming the ship has it all around anyways.
It has a glass sealant. You can't actually seal this in order to make it work with a reactor. It has to be volatile, otherwise it won't work. From your knowledge and your remembrance of it, strange foreign memories flood your head of nuclear fusion and reaction stuff that you know was implanted in you as a younger Nephilim, but stuff that you know you never learned yourself. The only thing that you can really tell is there should be a central computer just below that if you could type in a kill word, it would destroy the reactor or shut it down, and the ship would basically drop out of the sky, or at least it would be immobile, unable to make any jumps, move anywhere.
Alright,
basically render it useless until they can turn it back on, which would take a couple days at best.
Okay, so I could always, interrogate the engineer.
Mm-hmm. If any of you guys know about Halt and Catch Fire, it's the kill word for IBM computers that basically shuts everything down and breaks it from the inside. If there's no other way out.
I'm aware of Halt and Catch Fire. I have not gotten there yet.
It's a good show.
Well,
I was told I need to watch it. I just haven't I downloaded it at all. I think I just haven't started watching it yet.
If you're a coder, it's one of the best shows you could probably watch. It's really good. Right, what are you doing, Kev?
I am going to try and force its engineer to shut down the reactor.
Ooh. Give me a stealth roll. I'm gonna roll something really high for a moment.
Unless, you know, he's got the password in his pocket and I'll steal that. So am I rolling to like beat him in like a battle of wills or something?
Your beating is perception.
18.
In awareness. No, you're 21 to 18 actually.
Oh yeah, you re-rolled that. Huh.
Yep. So.
Can I roll a fate?
Give me a fate roll.
Isn't it just use a fate point?
Yep, use a fate point, re-roll all 3 dice. Holy shit, what?
Oh wait, no, that's a typo.
Oh, plus 28. Plus 28. I was gonna say, holy shit, how? Alright. Yeah. 12 plus 8, that's 20. Unfortunately, still not enough. You make your way forward, and there's something weird that happens. As you make your way forward, the engineer turns, but you feel like reality warp and shift around you. You feel your head clear, and he's still staring at you, but something just weird happened, and you're not sure what. Nothing in your memory or your intelligence could really tell you what you just experienced, but you don't know. Maybe you should bring it up with your crew later. Anyways, he looks at you, and his eyes narrow. He puts his hand on the reactor. He says, "Security, I need help." Doors open all around the reactor room, and people with guns start streaming into the room.
So does he actually know I'm there?
He knows you're there. He caught you by 1. Do you want to make one more fate reroll if you really feel like it?
At this point, I don't so. Okay, yes, I'm gonna make a fate reroll there.
Okay.
I doubt it's gonna work.
If you at least match it, he's gonna at least be perceptive. Or receptive, rather.
Okay, there we go. That's
Jesus Christ. Yep, that'll be enough. Right. You feel time once again warp around you, and this time, instead of the men still being there, for some reason you find yourself at the entrance to the hatch. He hasn't spotted you. Confused, you make your way up, and he doesn't turn around. You're behind him now.
Okay, I'm going to grab him and put the blade to his throat.
He immediately chokes back a yell. He says, "You're not one of us, are you?"
No, sorry. Now,
well,
you have a choice. Actually, you don't. You're going to give me the password for this computer to shut it down. Want this reactor dead. You're going to do it.
I am the head researcher, yes, but I can always pass on my knowledge.
Okay, did. Can't.
Little do you realize that if I die, the reactor dies with me. Just hands off.
I'm going to slice his hand off.
You cut his hand off. Alright. He screams very loudly. He clutches at his hand. He's like, right. And then he focuses, and you can see the skin stitched back together, but his hand is not reformed.
Password now.
You're gonna kill me either way, aren't you?
No. I might let you live.
Give me a bluff check, because I know you're not going to. Or give me a conversation roll. To convince him.
And he's willing to invite more suits. I could just let him live.
Yeah.
Smart enough. I'll probably just knock him out.
Yep.
Where is my conversation? I'm not going to bring this conversation here.
Absolutely not, but we'll pretend.
-3.
Right.
8.
Actually, that's a success with drawbacks.
Wow.
He's gonna look at you. He narrows his eyes. And then he's gonna sigh. He's gonna say, you know what? Fine. I don't like what my group's doing here either. I was taken from my home. I was held in hostage. I haven't seen the sun in 6 days. Fuck. Fine. Whatever. But do me a favor. Don't go killing everyone you see. And he puts his hand on the console. And the reactor glows. And then dims. The reactor is shut down. He's then going to turn to you. And he's going to pull out a blaster and take a shot at you. I want you to make me a 3d6 roll to escape it.
3D. Just flat 3d6 plus any else?
Yep. Just 3d6.
Reflex.
Wow, okay. I actually have a pretty good chance to hit this.
Am I adding reflexes or
Just
not?
straight 3d6.
13.
Wow, okay. You dodge out of the way as a lance of energy shoots out and smacks into the wall. It burns a hole in the wall. He turns to you and he grins. I don't believe you. You're going to kill me either way. And he's going to take a step forward and pull out his pistol again. Or he's going to cock his pistol. Going to draw a second one.
I rush him and try and knock him out.
Sure.
I really don't want to kill this guy.
Sure. Give me a physical roll. A scientist doesn't have very high strength, you know? You grapple him. Give me 3 limb attacks. Or use like your weapon or whatever. Give me an attack roll. Just use whatever you need.
Can I use like the Bilgo Blanche to smack him on the head?
Yeah.
What would that be, a plus of? Hit, maybe?
Plus your strength.
Yeah, plus 4. 4 plus 3. I have to use them. Hit, look. Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay, you definitely do it. Right. You knock him out instantly. He flops over. And you now have a lead scientist in your grasp. What are you going to do with him?
I'm going to drag him somewhere safe.
Right.
Across the other side of the reactor room. I'm going to leave him with a note.
Right. It was me all along, Dash. Head scientist. Or something like that. Or like, what are you doing? What are you doing on this note?
Right, I'm basically just leaving a note saying the way out through the vents, tell him to get a fighter, and when you get to fighter 2, you give Paul a command phrase, so she knows he's a friend, to get him down to the planet safely.
Oh, so you're actually helping him?
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
I want his...
You want to what?
I want his knowledge.
Okay, fair enough. Right, you leave him.
Obviously the command word for Paul is Death Band Guitar. There we go.
God, I like to think that Fall definitely didn't consent to this, but right, fair enough. You leave that with them. Are you going to do anything else in the reactor room?
Yes, I'm going to smash shit out of that command computer so they can't use it.
Ooh, that's not good. Alright, give me an attack roll.
I'm just going to use physical.
Right. You thwack the command computer. There is sparks. There are sparks and a flash, and like the keyboards are one of the keyboards is completely broken. You go to the next one, you break that one too. Third one, break that one too. You'd have to replace the keyboards or like use like a data pad and hook it up to the computer in order to repair it now, which should cause significant delays.
Go place a satchel charge on the door to the reactor room.
Okay, that'll be cool. All right, you do so.
Try and stop them getting in.
All right.
Keep. Right, back to the vents.
Back to the vents. Okay.
Yeah, 6 chapters left.
You think that there's nothing else in that particular vent system for you?
Yeah, I'm gonna head towards like the main, try and find this guy I'm supposed to kill.
Okay. So.
I'm gonna leave a few like vents in the vents, so if it explodes, it'll go along the vents.
Right. How long are you gonna be spending wandering around these vents?
I'm just gonna have one of them. I'm just working awareness.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. 3. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna head towards the command, wherever this command deck is.
You find yourself. Oh wait, roll me one more d6 to re-roll that too. Right, there you go. You make your way into like a central hallway. The lights in it are completely black and dark. There are no people in this hallway. It's completely empty, completely silent. There's a single set of doors at the far end. A red light pulses gently against the walls.
Right, before I go to the door, I'm going to place the satchel charge just in the bottom corner next to the door.
Okay.
3 satchel charges left.
Yep.
Okay, what is on the other side of this door, I wonder? Can I roll an awareness to find out?
Sure. You roll an awareness. Your awareness falls over. It hits the side. It reads unaware. No, kidding. You hear literally nothing from beyond the door.
Okay, I'm going to put the mask on.
Okay. You put on the mask. 1 hour left.
Okay, I'm going to head to the doors.
The doors slide open. Sitting in a central chair in the very front of the ship is a man. But he isn't Nephilim. He wears black clothing that extends down past his legs. He has a silver mask obscuring his face. But this isn't just some standard mask. This is made of titanium. This is made of beautiful material. So it's more a work of art than it is a mask. And he carries an enormous rifle. This thing glows, literally glows from head to toe. It has, instead of like a barrel, it has what looks like the end of a tuba. Like a massive funnel that exits the end. And it, like, you can see the air around it vibrate. He has incredibly beautiful looking armor. it looks like a matrix of light wrapped around his body. He turns slowly, and you notice he isn't human. He isn't Nephilim. He isn't any race that you've ever really encountered. You think maybe this is someone who's been heavily modified. Maybe it's an ex-Archon. Like, you really don't know. Genuinely. And he looks at you, and he smiles, and he says, "So you finally come." He gets up and walks his way into the center of the room. Spreads his arms out wide. Says, "I've been waiting for you for close to..." And he counts off on his fingers. He grins again. 75 years. I knew you would come, you know. One day. Don't know how long it would take, but I knew you would eventually show up. What's wrong, cat? Got your tongue?
Who are you? I say, ripping off the
Immediately. You immediately get to the point, huh? Right. Well, I can't tell you that. Mostly because I don't remember my own name. I don't know who I am, what I am. What I can tell you is... And he sort of taps his head for a couple seconds thinking, I can't tell you much. I can tell you that the Consortium don't like you. That our council do not like you. That nobody in our group likes you. But that's because you could save us all. Or you could kill us all. And we've opted to determine that you're going to murder us all. So, as a direct result, I cannot assist you. However, I can... He sort of gives like a half smile. Where's your cube?
Well, if we're from negotiating here first, let's get something straight. You shot first. You decided your fate, not me. I would have been happy to let you live unless you tried to kill me, which you did, if I remember rightly.
I didn't actually choose to do this. This is the Consortium's rule. This is what happens when we determine that something is harmful to the Oni, to Zion, to everyone on our terms, on our faction. Unfortunately, you're just in the crossfire.
You tried to eradicate me.
What?
You tried to eradicate me and thus signed your own death.
Of course.
That's not smart.
Is anything that you see around you currently smart? Is it really intelligent? This is mindless. This is war. I can't do anything, unfortunately. What I can do is offer you a choice. Join with the Oni. Help us take out the rest of your crew. Let us take back the cube, and we'll let you live. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem.
Why is this cube so important to you?
Well, it's the Star Treader. What the hell do you think? It's only the most important artifact in the entire galaxy. What the hell do you think the cube is? It's a map, for God's sake.
Lucky buck. Ooh, map to what?
The Star Treader. What the hell do you think we're talking about?
Oh, yeah, cool, a really cool horse, but okay.
I mean...
Oh, yes, okay, I remember Star Treader now. Whoops. That was out of character. I forgot what that was.
Right. I literally don't know what the hell that was either, but sure.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm into a madman here. Yeah, I know what Star Treader was. Whoops. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you want the giant big battleship?
Of course.
My question then is, what are you going to do with it?
Well,
Did I even ask?
it could bring back the Archon. It could bring back Zion. It could restart the war. It could reintroduce the singularity that humanity faced. It could bring back most of the technology that we've lost. It's the single key to most of pretty much everything we've ever accomplished. But I'm just looking to restart the war. Simple.
So you just want more death?
No, not really. I just want to make Zion show his ugly mug.
Let's see, I have really no side in either of these factions. I'm just gonna play it straight caught in the middle.
You're an unfortunate pawn.
The simple assassin.
However, you've chosen to ally yourself against us. That alone is enough to cause problems. He spreads his arms wide, closes his eyes, opens them. So, do you want to join us? Do you want to sacrifice everything you know and love? Or do you want to fight me, take over this ship, and stop this whole shithole? Your choice, friend.
Just out of character quickly, what are my odds of beating this guy in a gunfight?
You've got pretty damn powerful weapons. And pretty good armor.
Right.
Also, you notice that the tables in front of you are pretty good cover.
Is there any way where he's got his arms open after like a quick fire?
You could.
Quick shot.
Sure, give me 3d6.
This plus reflexes.
Yep.
That smug look up his face.
Give me a minute. I need to look up a feat.
18.
One more moment. I need to look up a feat. I need to see if I can do something here. I realize that I have a couple things I need to add to this guy. However, yep, you definitely hit him. How much damage do you do?
3d6. Okay, one sec. That was a crit there, so that's automatic 2 endurance damage. Okay. And damage. Okay, so he takes 3 crit damage.
Yep.
How do I? Is this just roll 3d6 plus that?
3d6 plus what?
Is it 3d6 plus 6 and damage?
Yeah. I guess. I don't really know what you're rolling here.
No, I'm trying to figure out how much damage I do to him.
Oh, okay. You roll, well, your damage that you do is the end damage in whatever crits you manage.
Right. Okay, so that's 6 end damage plus 3 crit damage and 2 endurance damage.
Okay, give me a moment.
And plus burn.
I just need to like write out this feat.
Oh wait, no, that is actually 6 crit damage and 6 end damage plus 2 endurance.
Great, 18. Yeah, that definitely hits him. Okay, fair enough. Great. He stumbles back. Most of his armor cracks. He takes a total of 5 to his endurance. So is it that? He grins. He says, "Ah, okay. I see how it is." And he whips out his Gauss rifle.
Okay.
He's going to make 2 attacks, and I'm going to roll a d6. He makes 4 attacks. Please roll me 3d6 4 times.
Is this plus defense?
Nope. 6 to hit on the first.
No, the first one definitely hits, so we got 5 on that.
Okay. So that's 1. Okay, second one doesn't hit.
Wait, isn't this first defense? So I got 17 defense.
Right. Oh, right. True.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why am I rolling? I put defense.
Yeah.
You've got to beat me.
Right.
You've got to beat 17.
Crap. Right. 10 is the best he's done.
None of that hits.
Right. Does 18 and 14 and 8 hit you?
18 definitely hits me, so I've got 17 defense.
Right. So 18 and 14 don't hit. Or 14 and 8 don't hit.
Yeah.
Cool. You take 2 hits, so that is a total of 10 endurance damage plus... Oh, God. 1, 2, 3, 4... That's 14 damage?
13 damage because I got 1 armor.
Yep.
So, wait, that's 13. How many? I've got 8 in skill points.
Yep.
I am down to what now? 13 minus 18, 13, 14, 15, 16. 5. I've got 5. I've got 5 left in it. Wait, what's my endurance? Oh, wait, no, this is off endurance. Yeah, that's right. 25 minus 13.
Also, because he's made a strong hit, he's going to make a free stealth action.
Wow.
Plus 10.
12.
15.
I got 12. What are these for?
This is an effect that he has as part of his feats called Mirage. Make a free stealth action and minor effect move 2. So he stealths, moves 2 squares.
Where am I on this? Oh, there am I.
Yep. You're down here.
Yep.
Oh, right. You're a background piece right now. My bad. Objects and tokens. Yeah. 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 Edit. Settings. Controlled by Remore. Save changes. Where are you gonna go, Remore?
Go back.
Right. Give me.
Did you cut the guy's head off?
Not yet. Give me a cover. You have currently cover in front of you, so I'm gonna say you get a +2 cover.
Yeah. Oh.
Right. What are you doing?
So I'm gonna just fire my shotgun at him again.
Okay, cool. So the shotgun goes off. Roll.
Okay, roll. Roll.
Gotta be 15.
6 plus. Yeah. 14.
14 does not hit.
Does One splash damage.
Right. Okay. He takes one splash.
Splash, yeah. He gets another point of burn.
Okay. So basically, your shotgun blast goes off. It hits him, and for some reason, it's like he like phases out of existence for a moment, and then he reappears. He does get a splash of acid in his body, and he winces, but he seems totally unfazed. He takes a couple steps forward. Are you actually going to be doing anything other than that?
I'm going to be moving over there.
Oh, no, you can control your character, by the way.
Oh, can I? Oh,
yep.
Okay. And move there.
Okay. What is his movement like? It's 3. 1, 2, 3. Can move over here. He's going to take a stealth action, so he gets +2 cover. Or, no, he's going to take a cover action, so he has +2 cover. On that, what is he going to do? What are my actions like on this? Maybe track down that end piece, dude. What is it? There you go. He is going to do spray fire. Oh wait, no, that's a terrible idea. Yeah, okay, cool. He's gonna do sighted shot actually. His perception is 3, so that is slash roll 3d6 plus 1. 10 to hit. Need to roll another d6. 2 more shots. So it's 4 more shots. Pretty brutal, right? Alright. 16 and 15.
You still have to beat 22 to hit me.
Right, so it's 18 and 14. Since he's adept, I'm going to roll another d6 on both of those. Alright. So 14, that makes it 17 to hit, and 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, or no, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 to hit. On one. Hits you?
Yep.
Okay. So that's a hit. You take... Does crit damage still get through on a shot?
I have no idea.
What do you think, Graham?
Repeat that question?
If it's a miss, but it still has crits in the roll, does that crit damage still get attached?
If it's a miss?
Yeah.
No. If it
Okay.
misses, then it's not.
Okay. Cool.
If it misses, the crit damage only works if it's a hit.
Okay. Fair enough.
If it was a splash, then yeah, it would probably go through.
Okay.
The splash.
That makes sense. All right. You take 5 end damage.
I am down to.
What is your weapon category? Low tech?
I'm down to 7. No, it's not. I got that removed.
You find that your shotgun will not function.
Correct. I'm down to 5. Okay, what happens when you get to 0 endurance?
You start taking attribute damage.
Oh, okay.
You can take an action as part of your like personal combat actions to I believe do first aid. Must be maybe performed during combat, requires a toolkit. Do you have a toolkit on you?
No, I don't even remember being able to toolkit anywhere.
Ugh. Do you have like a toolbox of
do I
any
have
kind?
passive right now? I might have passive healing.
You have passive healing?
I don't know. Is it the right one? it medicine or is it self-reliant? One of them, I think, gives me healing. I'm not sure. Yeah, I've got a +1 to medicine. Yeah, it might be self-reliant.
Okay.
Sounds like this. Might be something I'm doing. Like, ignore that. Yeah, I can't heal in this at all.
Yeah, that's not great. You do have those stims though, don't you? That can like regrow lost limbs and shit from like way back in session 1.
Oh, I should have stopped the scientist for that. Oops.
That would be a good idea. Do you still have a couple of those?
I assume I have like one on my body.
Okay, fair enough. I'd say that lets you regain 2d6 endurance.
Okay.
Right, you regain 6 endurance.
13.
Right.
I'm going to move yeah.
Okay. You hide. All right. Cam, you gotta go.
I'm going to check my gun.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
And get working again.
Yep. All right. Cam, I'll see you later. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Right.
Okay. Trust a shroud grenade as well, by the way.
Okay. Okay. Shroud grenade. That's gonna provide heavy cover for you through that. Okay. Cool. Yep. That works. Perfect.
23 defense now.
So you're at what? 23.
23 defense.
Roll 3d6.
On the light cover as well.
I am actually gonna do something here. Slash roll 3d6 plus 7, I believe, because of lock on. So basically his first action is going to be lock on, which gives him a +6 to hit, -2, +3, so it's going to be 46 plus, that's 6 minus 2, 4. 46 plus 4. Right. So let's roll 46 plus. Okay, I'm gonna say he gets 1 attack with that. He crits once. Rolling a d6, that's another crit. So that becomes 22 to hit.
I got 23 defense.
23 defense. Okay. He takes a shot. The puncture rifle. It isn't actually a puncture rifle. It's a disruptor rifle. I forgot about that. Basically, it like there's a moment where it's like there's like a whining noise from behind your cover, and like the smoke cloud sort of is just drifting around you guys, and then you just hear a whump, and like a blast of sound flies out around you, shakes the walls, shakes the floor, shakes you, but it does no damage. It misses just barely. It's your go. He's gonna go back to using his Mirage. Wait a second. I gotta. What? Your shotgun is back to normal, yes. He's rolled a 25 on stealth. 24 on stealth, rather. He's using his Mirage, which is like his critical thing, to move 2 spaces away.
Okay. I'm going to he just moved close that way. I'm going to make a shot with the shotgun.
Okay. Make an attack against me. He has 2 points of cover.
13.
Alright, it misses. The shot whizzes past. Do you want to re-roll? Do you want to use the fate point to do that? To re-roll it?
I have no fate points left.
Oof. Alright. He has a total of like 7 fate points. So, that's 2 uses.
Is this still on cover, this bit here? Is that still behind that cover?
Yep, that's still behind cover.
Okay. Do you reckon I can reach him from here if I run?
Probably not. He's still a ways away.
I'm going to move to here.
Okay.
On the side of the cover. Okay.
Okay.
Right, okay. Physical.
Okay. I'm gonna roll a roll 4d6 plus 1d6. Oh wait, no, 46 plus 4. Lock on attack. 23. That's a crit.
Yep, give me hit.
22 to hit.
23 to hit. You got the first one.
Yep, but I re-rolled a crit. Right.
You got 2.
The disruptor rifle blasts out, and you sort of kind of see it coming, and then you just barely duck out of the way. He growls, and you can see like heat and light slowly growing brighter on his armor. He advances 3 paces. He is right across from you now. If you were to vault the table, you could get a grab at him.
Yeah, I'm gonna stab him.
Okay. Give me a strength roll.
Plus the sword blade hit.
Yep.
3, 14.
He has a plus 5 reflexes. He doesn't do it. Alright. You land on top of him. He growls and yells and thrashes, but you've got him in your grasp. How much damage does that attack do?
Is this defense versus impair? Stabbing him.
Ooh, yeah, right.
I've got a plus 2 to that one.
Oh shit, okay, yeah.
If it's defense versus impair, then I'm definitely gonna hit him.
Yeah, he has a 16 defense versus impair.
Right, okay, so yeah, I hit him.
Okay, cool.
Sword.
Like, but does he have armor around his neck?
Probably doesn't, no.
So does he have a 16 defense there?
Probably not, no. How much damage do you do, Remor?
3 damage plus 2 burn. Plus burn, sorry.
Right. You plunge the blade into his neck. Blood comes pouring out, but his eyes snap open, and he grabs at your neck and attempts to strangle you. / roll 3d6 plus physical. What is this physical?
Impair is not mine.
I'm gonna say +1 because that's not really his strength. Okay, he doesn't manage to grapple you.
Yeah, it's got to beat 20.
He makes a grab at you and doesn't quite get you. Slams himself just beside you. He throws you into the table. This is your go.
Okay, so I'm over here. Okay.
He growls. Also burn, right?
Yeah.
He growls as he takes another point of damage.
Yeah, I thought burn would do like 1 endurance damage.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to stab him again.
Okay. Give me an attack.
3 plus. Is it physical?
Yep. Beat 18.
Oh.
Roll me 1d6, dude.
Cool.
Oh my god, you lucky motherfucker. Alright.
What happened?
You catch him. You flip him onto his back and you plunge the blade into his neck again. More blood comes up this time. He coughs and shudders, but he's still alive. He attempts to use his crit action to dash away. No, he can't because he didn't roll a crit. Right. He attempts to break free. Can I get you to make another physical roll?
Me. Yeah. This 3d6 plus physical.
Yep. Oh my god, my rolls.
14.
Holy shit. Alright, you hold him down. He struggles to break free, kicks at you, grabs at you, bites at you, but you hold him in place. You have the blade above his neck. Make me one more attack.
plus 3. Hit. 14.
He breaks free. The blade plunges down, but at the last moment, he flings himself out of your grasp and gets up. He pushes you against the wall, pushes the puncture rifle in your face. The sound of the rifle firing up begins. Can I get you to make one more attack? It's not a puncture rifle. My bad. It's a disruptor rifle.
10.
You don't pull it out. Oh, no. I'd say if you're in close quarters, he's helpless. Wouldn't you? Grim, would you say that if he's like right next to him and he has a blade at his neck, would he be helpless?
I would say he'd be more likely. He'd be more likely to do something wrong. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. In that case,
wait, what was the roll for?
It was only 10 to hit. However, he's right next to the dude, like up in his face.
Yeah. There's nothing I can do towards like killing him. I can only push him away because the blade's too long to actually stab him with it in like close quarters.
Okay. So I say you probably push him back a pace then?
Yeah.
Is that fair? Alright.
Yeah.
You knock him back into the table. He collapses. He growls. He whips out his punch. How are you? We're at the very, very end of an episode, man. Cool. Yep. Am I closing my door? Yeah. He pulls out his disruptor rifle. I'm gonna make one more attack against you because you've given him an opportunity. 4d6 plus 4. 16 to hit. Doesn't hit. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to rush him again.
Oh shit. Right.
Just kind of like have anything stabby on him.
He doesn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, I thought he would have.
He normally can use his mirage to get away. 14 to hit. He flings himself to the side, ducks out of your way, and at this point, I'm just gonna say screw it for the use of like flavor. I'm gonna say he's gonna move 3 paces away. So he starts sprinting away as quickly as he can. You want to give chase?
Yeah.
Okay. You chase after him.
What do you do? His raw movement.
I'm thinking it's probably your movement stat. Yep. Then your movement stat is the number of spaces you can move.
Oh, I thought it was raw movement.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
I can get to out there then with just a straight off movement.
Right.
Like doing 2 movement.
You're not quite able to get in close.
Yeah. If I got in too close, I won't be able to use my sword though.
Okay.
But I can't make an attack until next turn.
He spins around. Gets one more pot shot at you. Sights. So locked on. 13 to hit. Oh my god. My rolls, dude. 14 to hit.
How much?
Misses.
How much health this guy got left?
2. I shit you not.
Hey, yo, you might with that much of a miss.
Yeah.
And he rolled 3.
Yeah.
Crit fails.
Yeah. Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Honestly, he misses, and maybe the gun jams.
I would say so. Yeah. Okay. In that case, sure. Yeah.
Just as flavor, like if he got
3 critical fails. Yeah, that's probably makes sense.
Like hell, if he got 2 crit fails, that would have been enough. But like,
yeah. Okay.
Technically, technically one's covered, but
yeah.
Even then, he got 3 crit fails in 1 run.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. In that case, that makes sense.
He would have been. His gun jams up for however long. It's just like I'm thinking about it for a second.
Okay, in that case, there's gonna be the sound of a click, and rather than the gun firing, there is the sound of like rushing air as everything is sucked into it. And I'm going to say you move forward 1 space and his gun jams. So rather than blasting things out, it disrupts things inside of it. Or pulls things in. Right. Make one last hit.
I'm going to roll with disadvantage on this time, so close.
Jesus.
Okay, 12.
You know what? Screw it. I don't honestly think that at this point he has that much luck left. To hell with it. How do you want to do it? Like...
Now I want to see if he survives this.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Okay. Cool. Yep.
I'm curious to see if he can actually try and kill me.
Wait. Yeah. Actually, yeah. You can't do it. It does still miss him. Okay. So I guess at this point he's gonna drop to the floor. He's gonna come up underneath you, like underneath your guard, like strike you, I guess, against the face and sort of dodge to the side again. So I'm gonna move him right here. At that point, he is going to use. He did still roll a crit, so I'm gonna say Mirage. 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, no, that's 2 spaces away, isn't it? So he's actually over here. Plus 10 stealth. 22 stealth check, so he vanishes again. Or at least he gets away in time without getting really struck. Okay.
Does he not move any further than that then?
He can only move 2 spaces with Mirage.
Okay.
So basically he just uses it to get behind you.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to try and cut his head off as per the request.
Okay.
Uh, 17.
Oh shit, you pull it off. How do you want to do this?
So as I run at him down this way, I jump off the desk.
Oh yeah.
And
Okay.
spin and just slice right through his neck. His body kind of slumps to the ground. His head rolls across the floor.
He drops to the floor.
Eyes kind of glitter, staring in surprise.
Okay, cool. As his body collapses, you very quickly realize that this guy was dead from the start. The inside of his body is completely rotten. The blood that comes out is black rather than red. And his body, underneath the coat, is all skin and bones, patchy flesh and torn holes. The screen in front of you lights up, and the man himself stares back at you. Well, I suppose that was enough of a demonstration then. Right, the council are pleased with your progress. We will be in touch in the future. Farewell. Oh, by the way, you might want to run away. The ship is about to blow up. And the screen shuts down. A countdown appears on the screen. 30 minutes.
What is the nearest airlock?
The nearest airlock, unfortunately, is down the hall.
Let's lick it.
Okay.
I need to grab his head, actually.
Oh, right, yeah, you do. You grab his head, shove it in a bag, and you start running. So I'm gonna have you make me stealth rolls because still people are on the ship with completely no idea what's going on.
Although I left the last 2 satchel charges over here.
Okay, at the central desk.
Just on the main. No.
Fair enough.
Okay, as I'm running
Oh,
down the
also, are you gonna do anything with the jacket, or the rest of the body?
the rest of the body. What's wrong with the rest of the body?
This is a bot. This is a boss, you know.
Okay, let's take his gear. Sure.
Okay, sure.
Salute him.
You take a jacket, a black jacket, dark as night. The jacket itself, when you put it on, starts to like whir into life. The light matrix that you saw around the guy now shows up around you. You now effectively have a 7-point armor chest piece in the form of the jacket.
Okay.
Also, what I'm gonna say is every day that 7-point armor regenerates. Okay.
Ooh.
That's all I'm gonna say. There are other things to it, but you're gonna have to figure it out yourself.
Okay, well, I'm gonna run.
Okay. You sprint down the hallway.
And I'm going to detonate all my charges.
Oh my god. Okay. You sprint down the hallway. There are a couple Nephilim that turn around and like look at you and sort of cock their heads curiously, and then everything goes to shit. The hallway that you're in actually drops. Like there is the sound of like breaking metal and explosions from the main cockpit, and the cockpit itself actually falls away from the rest of the ship. You find yourself thrown through the doors and out the floor. You're now in open space without any handholds. What are you going to do?
I am just going to float there because I have no jetpacks on this thing, I don't believe.
Shit, okay. So you're in open space. Yep.
I'm stranded in space waiting for rescue.
Right.
There's nothing I can do.
You do have short range comms, right?
Short range, yeah, but that's not going to reach the planet, I believe. I need long range.
That's
Do you
not
have
good.
a beacon?
You know, I would have kind of finding me.
Sorry, what?
It's more so asking if you have a beacon of some kind that could possibly hit, so we can send help.
I'd assume a environmental suit has some sort of SOS beacon attached. Yes.
Probably. It's an armor type.
Yeah.
In that case, I suppose you pull out your jacket. You like sort of reach inside of this jacket. You tap like a button on the side of your environmental suit, and down on Earth, Fall, on your comms chat, there is a sudden like distress call, and it basically says crew member stranded, and then it shows the location, and you know it to be like several hundred feet out of the atmosphere.
Okay.
So you're automatically probably assuming it's K.
Yeah, that's my first thought. But
Yeah.
who's on? Okay, so is that fighter that we equipped with the cloak? Is that still okay, or is it broken?
It's definitely broken.
No, that's blown. That's blown up.
wasn't
I destroyed that.
Definitely
sure.
do that.
Yeah, I definitely
Okay.
got up to put a charge into it.
Hmm.
There should be a fighter though that's landed on the planet with you with a Nephilim scientist.
Yep.
Wait, what?
You should have a Nephilim scientist NPC with you now. I saved him.
Yep.
That was good, I think.
He should have
Okay.
probably come down with the rest of the ship. Instead of a low-level fighter, and he should have basically come up to you and basically said, "I won't forget this debt of this debt. I will make sure to assist you in any way I can." And that's basically all I'll say.
Well, I mean, like, I'm still in the command. I'm still in the command center.
Oh right, yeah. Never mind then. He's not there
so
yet.
I don't know that, but I don't know that yet. But at the same point, I see the pings, like swipe it over into the map, and it points up to where
Yeah.
the flagship.
It probably
was,
actually points outside of the map as well.
Yeah. All right. All right. It's like fall to Celeste.
Yep.
Cat is out in the. Cat has I think done what she needed to do.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Cat
Well.
is a Cat's female, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Yes?
I'm non-gender,
Okay.
but close to female, anyways.
Hmm.
Wait, I'm
Oh.
confused. What?
Nephilim don't really do have genders,
Oh,
but, because they're biological.
Looks-
Remember?
true.
Looks female.
Yeah.
they
That's
just
the
look
only. That's
female.
what I'm getting at. Okay. Cat's out in the. Cat's sent off a distress beacon. Could you go collect? Could you send something to go collect her? If we have another ship or something, we could get. But I know the fighting's a bit thick on the ground.
All right, I can do that. And she sort of, you hear the sound of like shouting, and you hear the actual ship prepare to take off. And she says, "We don't have any fighters, but we can get ourselves up there. See you in about half an hour." And
Be careful, please.
I'll do my best. And you hear the sound of the comms shutting off. Remore?
Are Sirius and Cam's character on ship?
Probably, yeah.
I radio into Sirius and into whatever Cam's name is. Be advised. You may want be advised. One of you may need to try and steer the ship if something bad happens. Okay.
Understood.
Make sure the ship stays afloat. Collect Cat and come back.
Can do. Roger that. I'll make sure to begin preparations. The comms turn off. He hangs up.
Ball's scared out of her mind at the moment.
Yep, basically. Well, it is Oni. Alright. Remore. You float in space for a solid 15 minutes. In that time period, probably a bit of debris or something's probably come over to you, and you probably managed to find your way onto it. So you're probably just like hanging off of some random piece of hull, chilling there.
The severed head.
Yeah, with a severed head that is definitely decomposing by this point.
It'd be frozen at space.
It is space, though.
Yeah, it'd be frozen.
Oh, true, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess. Okay, yeah, sure. Frozen head. It's probably frozen to your suit then. You see a ship come into range, and you recognize it as the barn door, and you sort of see the access hatch lower. You notice something different about this access hatch, though. You realize that there's a hard light grid on the other side, where the normal crew quarters would be. And you realize that it might be leaving life support on.
Right.
You get a radio in your headset, and it is Sirius. He basically just says, "Alright, I can see you. Make sure that you make a jump just from that debris over there, over towards our ship. You should be able to float over, according to our calculations, pretty quickly. We'll come and retrieve you and take you home."
Right, great. Okay.
Right. See you in a second.
See you in a bit.
Alright. What are you gonna do?
I am going to jump.
Right. Make me a physical roll. 14. Cool. You launch yourself off of the debris and float pretty easily over. You manage to climb your way into the ship. The deck, like the opening hatch portion, closes behind you, and the hard light grid, there's like, it stays in place, and you begin to wonder why for a moment, and then you see like a mist, like a hose come from the ceiling, and you feel like your suit suddenly gets like an alert that says like air pressure stabilized. And then you have like a cloud of like smoke that pours out over you, and then you realize that's water vapor. I guess they must be like what's it called? What's it called?
Decontaminating?
Decontaminating. Yep, they're decontaminating you.
Yeah.
And then the hard light grid turns off, and you step through into the ship.
Okay. I'm going to take this. I would head to the crew quarters and stick it in their fridge.
Okay.
Freezer.
You put it in the freezer. There's like several pies in there, and there's like frozen food, and you just shove it in with all that.
Oh god.
Surely nothing will rot. It's fine. And you slam the freezer closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like whoever opens that freezer again.
That'll be pretty bad. Actually, give me a 3d6 roll, just real quick. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Halfway back towards the planet, there's a crew member who sort of starts to say like, I'm gonna head back to the crew quarters. I gotta go and grab something. And 3-4 minutes later, you just hear a scream, and like the freezer door just slams closed, and he just runs out looking pale. Is like, there was a head. The what? And he just like collapses on the ground and starts like putting his head in his hands. He's like, what the fuck? About 8 minutes later, you guys enter atmosphere, and 8 minutes after that, you touch ground. What are you gonna do once this ship is opened back up? There's still a lot of fighting up above. Ships are still flying to and from. There's still lots of blaster fire, and in fact, this reminds you more like a war zone than anything else now. The city itself is smoking. There are fires all over the place. There are riots in the streets. It's not good. Just because you kill a captain doesn't mean that the rest of the crew won't realize, or will realize.
Yeah, but I took up the biggest shit. I think they did me a bit, you know.
You'd be surprised.
Kind of,
Their flagship just exploded.
True.
yeah, they're a bit, they're taking our
And
more
plus,
off,
if they're drones, if these are drones not actually being like piloted, those things would have fallen out of the air.
The problem is
Or
these are
stopped.
being piloted. These are all
okay.
one-man fighters. So I'm gonna give.
Sorry. You said drone earlier, and I'm like, okay, so if this is a drone blowing all that shit up, would
Oh no, I meant like the sound is droning.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Give me a second. Henchman has. What would that be? What is a resolve roll? Slash roll 3d6 plus. Let's say -2.
Plus resolve.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll do -2. Okay. Yeah. Actually, in that case, sure. A lot of the ships, after that massive explosion goes off, all the ships that are like fighting in like in the middle of combat, several of them slow, and then there's a moment where like no fire is returned anymore, and several ships get blown up, and then there's a whining noise, and about 80% of the fleet just warps out of sector. Like there is a massive explosion and like a burst of energy, and they're gone.
Okay.
So, Remore, you touch down on a pretty torched, wrecked city. There are several people being wrapped up in blankets. There are people just staring off into space. Workers are starting to work on buildings, and actually what you start to see is the locks being torn down. Like there are people, like there are groups of people like roving the streets, basically tearing these things down. There are crowds with like banners and torches, like rioting. What do you do?
I'm gonna stick the head in a portable freezer carrier.
Okay. Give me a 3d6 roll to see if you even carry one of those, because I don't know if that's even in existence in this game. Just like a portable freezer that just exists, like constantly cools.
I've not seen those. You've never been camping, man.
I have. Oh no, you're talking about a cooler.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like something like I thought you meant like something that has like an energy cell or something that just keeps food cool.
No.
I was like, damn, that would be pretty sick though.
There are some coolers that do that too.
True. I actually didn't know these even existed, so my bad. Alright.
The bunch of ice packed around it.
Alright, fair enough. Okay, cool. Yeah, you just keep it frozen.
Yeah.
Make your way over.
Right round. Okay. Yeah. Head to fire, I guess then.
Okay. You make your way up to the central tower. You fall. You probably like notice the Oni leave just before pretty quickly. The commanders basically all get up from their table and start like chattering to themselves excitedly. Some of them like throw up their hands and start cheering. Several of them start like hugging each other. The soldiers all begin like yelling and cheering and celebrating. Gunshots are going off. People are like running around. And then that only happens for about 7 or 8 minutes. And then it all calms down. And the cleanup begins. They Oni left a pretty big scar on this place. And it'll take a while to heal. You can see people start to come and go. Some people gathering like equipment for peacekeeping operations and crowd control, SWAT team level stuff. They begin making their way through the streets. You can see like people coming out of the buildings with like full-on armor and shotguns and stuff. Crowd suppression begins. Everything sort of starts to calm down, and then Remore, you enter the tower. Everything is still very frantic. No commanders have come down yet. What are you even doing while you wait?
I'm going to find the main guy. The leader.
Give me a 3d6 plus conversation because you're gonna have to try and buy your way into the upper floor.
So 3d6 minus 4.
Oh shit! Seriously? Oof.
Yeah,
Oh wow, dude! Seriously.
The 5, 5, 6, 5, 4.
Jesus.
That's a good roll.
That's pretty crazy. Okay, so you make your way up to the second floor, and there are like 2 very burly looking legion carrying like auto cannons guarding the door. As you walk up to the door carrying a severed head in a cooler, they immediately level their guns on you. They say, "Halt. What is that?" In like broken English. What?
This is Wilson.
What? Open it.
I open this thing and pull out the head.
They immediately point their guns at you. They say, "Hands on the ground. Hands over your head."
Man, that's the way to treat someone who's just killed the consortium captain.
There's silence. They exchange glances. What you say is true?
I'm gonna grab the skull's jaw and kind of mime it saying, "Yes, of course it's true, you imbeciles."
Oh fuck. They look at each other. One of them sort of chuckles and he's like, "You're going to want to show these." Says one of them, and he opens the door. You step through into what looks like a meeting in progress. Several very aged-looking men sit up from the table and look up at you carrying a severed head into the center of the room.
Can I interject real quick?
Yep.
During the entirety of all this stuff that has been going on while they were off doing things, could it possibly be that I was helping coordinate things going on for the city?
Yep, sure. You probably are working with humanitarian groups and other stuff, providing food, providing shelter, providing water.
Like,
You probably make your way outside.
yeah, I'm asking mostly because I wanted to see if I would somehow have gotten like pulled into the room for room while I was
I don't think you would.
because they could tell, but they would. But would they have been able to tell that I was coordinating things from another comms tower?
They probably would have been aware.
Comm station
They would have been aware, but they're currently in the rather important meeting, so they're probably passed you off to like a secondary captain or something, somebody slightly below, who has to remain on the central floor. So he's probably working with you right now, but he'll probably get you in a meeting later on.
Okay.
Also, one more thing. The cube, this entire time the cube has been silent. Now that everything is calmed down, the cube begins to like mutter in your head. And then you get the feeling of ship, go to, crash. And you have a vague direction in the back of your head.
Okay. Okay. Thailand still is like buzzing at whenever the cube talks.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. It probably doesn't like Talon either, but but it probably is just like necessity. Must be.
Like I would feel like the cube wouldn't actually just like give a crap. It's just like
Yeah. Well,
just
it
like
has
very just like
it has limited sentience, right? So it probably is aware of anger or hatred or vague emotions.
Of the annoyance coming from the other being in my brain.
Yeah, probably. It probably generally senses something off and is like necessity must be exist.
The shot and Talon's just begrudgingly just kind of grunts.
Mm.
Small shocks going up and down, like small shocks like zipping up and down my arm, up and down her arm, like Fall's arms.
Okay. Whatever
And then,
electricity goes through you, the cube probably glows blue in response.
The blood just I feel like the blood farm's just kind of sitting there laughing.
Oh God. In that case,
I feel a small buzz in my pocket.
Yeah.
In my pocket, touch it. It's like touch it. Just get a sense of laughter.
Yeah. Actually, another thing, over the course of the last couple of weeks, you probably had to suppress this thing from breaking free at least like 5 times now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's tried to break free a couple times now. You get the vague sense that you should probably try to take it to some expert within the Twifar. At least
I figured. Now. I mean, we have Twifar area.
Yep.
I'm gonna go check that out once I can.
Yep. All right. I was just wanting to make sure that you were aware of the fact that it's given you a new objective.
Okay.
Keh, you enter this room.
Okay.
These men are in a meeting.
Okay, I chuck the severed head onto the table.
Fuck.
The table.
Several people like jump up and sort of like back off. The head diplomat from before sort of gets up and looks at you like, okay, we're doing this now, are we?
Okay, and then I just came and announced the room. Alas, poor York, I knew him well.
Oh God. Give me a culture roll to see if you even know that reference.
I won't know the reference. I just know the line. I have no culture here. I just know the.
Alas, poor York,
know.
I knew him well.
Jesus Christ.
I have no idea where it's from. I just know it.
Jesus. Okay, fair enough. The group looks at you sort of unsettled, and one of them sort of tentatively wanders over and looks at the head. He lifts it up by the hair and flops it on the table, and the rest of them immediately crowd around to look at it. One of them looks up at you and then looks back at the head and says, "Is this the one?"
Yep, that is the Admiral of the flagship. What's his name or something?
Uh,
He was
you didn't get
like
his
a
name.
kid when I killed him.
Hmm.
Nah.
Interesting. He looks like... No, that can't be right. He starts pulling up data entries and like logs and like timeline stuff, and you spot him. Except this is dated pre-Old War. This is probably at least 400 years old.
Okay, so I point at the screen. Yeah, that's him there.
Havanna Sibelius. He was a hero. He was he was a hero of the Vargazi. One of the only real starship captains from before the war. He fought in the Archon versus Zion War. He's been dead for 300 years.
I've been that dead since I found him alive, though mostly decayed.
This isn't good news.
And this surprises us how, because I'm pretty sure the consortium can bring dead people back to life.
Yeah, also I'm pretty sure he's not actually dead, because after I killed him he popped up on a screen.
Huh. I've heard of a race called the Palantor that deal with stuff like that. Digital consciousnesses. Perhaps the consortium have enlisted at least some help from them with that.
Or they might not even be Palantor. They might be mechanoids.
Yes. Sorry, who are you? How did you get in here?
Wait, what?
Yeah. Well, you're giving input. So I've just brought you into canon. It's happening.
Okay.
You've been brought in.
Wait,
Fine.
no, who? Me or
Fall? Fuck
like
it.
me as a separate character?
No, Fall.
Fall walk like Fall. Fall gets shown in by that commander who was helping her with the thing.
Yeah.
With the with starting to coordinate the humanitarian efforts.
Okay. Yeah.
She was coming in with she was walking in with not her data pad but a data pad full of information on the humanitarian efforts and the battle itself while she was helping coordinate for that as well.
Okay.
One, to return it, and two, to return it to the people who own it, and two, because they need to have the information regardless. So she would have convinced the lovely secondary commander to bring her there.
The Legion probably would have relented immediately upon seeing him, and they would have let you in probably instantly. Yep. So
it could very well. So it could very well be mechanids too.
Mechanids. We've heard of these, but we haven't really encountered them. What are they?
They're like, you know the Palantor, yes?
Yes, we've dealt with their kind once.
The Palantor, when there's a virus that can affect them because they are made of data, and that a virus can turn them into basically just mindless killing machines.
And that is the mechanic.
Yes. Mechanical, and they're all over Haven. Or the Haven system.
We haven't really encountered these yet. Perhaps they are a relatively uncommon thing on our part.
They're uncommon. I would assume they're uncommon here, but they can show up anywhere. They're on ships. They can ride on massive ships that work with the other with bigger mechanical drones that are powered by corrupted Palantor mines.
We should be wary of these just in case. It sounds like we might have another enemy on the horizon if that's the case.
The Palantor themselves are not to be feared. They should be understood. And some mechanids have even been reclaimed and had their minds fixed for the most part
Interesting.
anyway. But it's rare and it's rare and through my travels I've only met a few.
Interesting. Will we have to fight these in the future?
The mechanids,
Yes.
there's always a chance.
How would we defend against such a thing?
Completely honestly, I'm trying to think of just other than like just straight up destroying them.
Maybe EMP?
Um, um, well, they are mechanical, so if you didn't care for the Palantir mines within, my suggestion would be possibly an EMP, or just by damaging them enough.
So we use the tower.
If you cared, if you care enough to try and reclaim them, you could always try and capture them and then
Bring them back alive.
find a few, find a few, so find a few Palantir who, like, try and get in contact with some Palantir who might be able to reclaim them, and then they could be of use. They could be even more of use. But they do have but at that point they do have free minds. So you need to be
aware.
You would need to treat them like every other person. More so like Vargardi. They were once human. Something the corp and the Vargardi might actually have some semblance of resemblance to.
Interesting. These humans, we've heard of them before. It's been 10,000 years since they were alive. Perhaps we should research this culture, figure out what we can do regarding those. We appreciate your input. If nothing else, we no longer have to deal with this threat to our system. The Oni are gone for now, but I fear that we might have to face more in the future. Thank you for your assistance.
Very possible. And you're welcome. I have a list of different things that are. I have a list of different of the list of the battle that list regarding the battle that was going on.
Mm.
I have some, and I have some information on the different. What was it? I can't remember what they're called. The humanitarian, a bunch of different humanitarian
efforts,
things going on,
yes.
Efforts going on. Other than the riot suppression, she says with a bit of a shudder. Other than the riot suppression, you have people you have communities coming together to try and get homes started, rebuilt, and people are sheltered, but they will definitely need help. And I mean help in a humanitarian way, not forcefully.
We have heard reports of the gates being torn down. Perhaps we should leave them. We will provide some kind of military police to assist as best as we can. We're all living on this city. We should prepare to begin reconstruction. If you'd wish to cooperate with us, please do what you can to assist this place. You may leave. We will be in touch with you in the future just to discuss reward and possibly a faster ship. Yours seems like pretty much a hunk of junk.
We would appreciate a faster ship.
Understood.
We like our, but we do also like our hunk of junk. It's gotten us pretty far, and I think we'll probably keep it, but having another ship might not be a bad idea.
Something transportable, yes. Understood. We can prepare to discuss possible expansion to the ship then. The conversion from it to a freighter and the beginning of another smaller, faster ship to be enclosed within?
Maybe, but we'll talk later.
We'll talk about
We'll
this.
talk
Yes.
later. I'm gonna. You, I apologize for interrupting your meeting. I just had to. I just wanted to put forward the information for the help for the humanitarian efforts.
Understood. We appreciate your assistance.
She like she like curtsies a little bit.
Okay. He bows, and he says, "Farewell."
Farewell. Um, should I just keep this tablet while I keep working with the
Yes,
efforts?
you should possibly keep doing this. Yes, we appreciate it.
Okay.
Bye. And he sort of gives like a
she-
tight smile, waves.
She again curtsies, turns and leaves
Okay.
or leaves, grabbing the second commander, the lieutenant commander that was there with me.
Okay. He
whoever
follows
there.
after, close behind. Okay. Well, I suppose that's probably a good place to end it, just for now.
Mm-hmm.
Right, in that case, thanks for watching, folks. This is
See
the
you later.
end of episode 1 of Fragged Empire, or Frags Inbound. Come back next week where we begin the real story. See you guys later.